Hi, this is Ernie. I'm that guy who had $6 in a checking account to now having millions of dollars. Today, rather than talking about options, stocks, and ETFs, I actually want to talk about something called real estate investing. Yes, many years ago, somebody asked me, what percentage of your portfolio is in real estate investing? And although I had a place, I did not consider that as part of my investment. I always thought it's just my living expense. Uh, and some of us, or many of us, this is our biggest investment, right? Bulk of our check goes in there. But besides living in our house or condo, we don't really do anything with real estate investing to generate income. Uh, so there's a book called Real Estate Investing 101. This is like the easiest book to read, extremely informational, and I actually consider this like equivalent to real estate investing Bible. There's so many useful things like how do you use 1031, and for those who have never heard of 1031, you need to learn what that is because it's going to save you tons and tons of money, and it might potentially allow you to never pay capital gains tax on your investment property. And two, it will allow you to think about some of the risks so that you'll be able to manage your risks better. For example, when I rented out my place, I was asking my tenant, it's like, oh, if you pay $50 more, you could rent it for a couple more years, and that person left. For $50, I was willing to pay month worth of rent, and then it did not get rented out for 2 months. So I lost that much money just because I was a little greedy and wanted to charge $50 more. So the book actually talks about all those risks that you should consider. Oh, of course, there's HOA fees that's going up. There's repairs that you probably have never thought about. I had some people, like one of the tenant who went hiking, had pebbles stuck in his shoes. He washed his shoes in the sink and ran the garbage disposal that got stuck and then burned. Like, if I was not handy, I would actually have to spend like $400 or $500 to get that fixed. But I was able to do it. But even then, it's an expense that eats into your profit. So all these maintenance things, like pros and cons of owning a multi-unit versus condo versus single family, this is the book actually that talks about all of that so that you have a good sense of the type of investment that you want to make if you want to get into real estate investing. Also, some people might say, I don't have a lot of money. You actually, believe it or not, you actually don't have to have a lot of money to do real estate investing. Some might say, oh, I don't have enough income. You might not really need income in order to do real estate investing. There are loans like DSCR that's purely based on amount of rent you can get. They don't even check your credit score or your income statement. So based on ability to rent it out, they will give you a loan. Of course, the interest rate is a little bit higher, but that this book actually talks about. And by the way, I'm not saying real estate investing is bad, right? Because if you think about my situation, one of the properties that I'm trying to sell, I bought it at $254,000, and now I'm selling close to $400,000. And yeah, I put 20% down. There was a closing fee, which you have to consider. So when you're buying a property, whether it's a real estate or your own property, you need to consider the expenses around closing, so that you need to have a little more cash. Otherwise, you might have to scramble and borrow money. But anyway, I think I overall maybe invested, I used to use the term spent, right? But invested to about $110,000 into this condo, including my down payment. But I'm getting close to 4x return in 9 years, which is not bad. So yes, if you think about it that way, it's an amazing return, right? What stocks, I mean, S&P 500 will not give you a 4x return. So this is an amazing way to do it as long as you know how to pick a good area, which this book talks about. So if you are interested in real estate investing, I highly recommend you get this copy. The link is in my profile. I think it's like TikTok shop or something like that. So please go check it out and take a look. And you're going to find this extremely useful. I know I'm going to get a lot of questions about this. I will do an interview with my real estate buddy who's been working in the industry for, I think, close to like 16 years. So that person, my friend, can tell you how to pick the right spot that has the highest likelihood of rent, the type of appreciation that you might be able to get like I have, so that it might be worthwhile and not just to cover calls like I do, which perfectly is fine, right? Real estate investment, 8 to 9% return on every year. Cover calls, 1% a week. So I can make the same amount of money in about 2 months. But of course, in order to do what I do, you need more capital. In order to do what I do, you need to learn and study the market. Where real estate investing, I think it's less tricky. There's less risk involved, unlike options. So I think it's worthwhile for you to look into. All right, don't forget to like, don't forget to repost, don't forget to send me comments if you have any questions, and if you're stuck with something and you have sensitive information, please don't forget to send me direct messages, and I'll see you guys on Monday.